Right guys, welcome back to another episode of Lone Wolf, the Cauldron of Fear. And we are actually in said cauldron. And with me is Karzie.
Hello. I want to continue doing that, but I'm lazy.
Yeah, let's just get into the
That'd
cauldron.
probably get annoying.
We
Yeah,
just had
get
the
in
dude
the cauldron.
open up the cauldron with 3,000 years, 3,000 or 300 years, 3 centuries of grime holding the place. It must be dirty.
Oh, it's gonna smell all musky in there.
There will be troops posted here at the cauldron, ready day and night to pull you up when you're ready to leave Zarix, says Senator Zolaris, as he helps you into the cradle that will lower you into the shaft. Just give the rope 3 stout tugs. That is the signal. Senator Chill appears to tell you everything is prepared for your descent. Good luck, Lone Wolf. I hope you'll be here to welcome your safe and successful return, and that you will come to know me as a friend. The cradle rises, and you are swung into position above the entrance. You stare down into the black abyss, your pulse quickening as a damp and icy wind whistles out of the shaft, carrying with it the cloying smell of decay. With a wave, you signal your readiness, and you are slowly lowered into the void.
For the first few minutes of your descent, you could see the red stone walls encircling the cradle. Then, a jagged rim of rock marks the end of the shaft, and you are plunged into total blackness. You can make out no walls or floor, and the shaft itself is now just a small circle of gray and darkness above. If you have the Magpie display divination.
Damn it.
No! I'm in a bucket.
So let's begin with page 53. The rope shudders, and instinctively you grab the rim of the cradle, as it jerks violently to one side. Your knuckles whiten, and cold sweat bathes your brow. The cradle swings and twists wildly, then a crack echoes in the darkness above, as the rope snaps, and you plunge headlong into the abyss. Wow, this is a really poorly made rope. They did not maintain that shit.
For real. You fall like a stone into the whirling blackness. In desperation, you thrust out your arms, hoping to seize an outcrop or ledge, but there's nothing in the void for you to grasp. The freezing wind screams past your face, and your senses are overwhelmed by the horror of your impending doom. Suddenly, an icy shock engulfs you as you strike the surface of a lake and plunge into its lightless depths. Stunned by the sudden impact and numbed by the icy water, you sink several fathoms before you can muster your strength and strike out to the surface. Pick a number from the random number table. You may die here.
God. Please. Oh, God.
Oh, alright, turn to page 4. What does this say? Oh.
The shock of the fall and the numbing chill of the icy black water conspire to sap your strength. You flail and flounder in the deep until you are gripped by cramp and can no longer resist your doom. Unconsciousness smothers your pain as you sink slowly to the bottom of the lake, weighed down by your equipment and the freezing water that now fills your lungs. Your life and your quest end here. Bad
Well,
luck.
cut, print, and you can probably stretch this out to 2 videos now.
Let's try again. Nope, we die again. And again. No, we just about made it.
Oh, alright, 289.
The icy water clogs your nose and throat and numbs you to the bone. Desperately, you fight to control the panic gnawing at your insides as your air-starved lungs fill your chest with an agonizing pain. If you have a vial of blue pills, turn to 25. If you don't possess this item, turn to 329. Oh, that was one of the random items that we could have picked up, I think.
That's strange, because on my screen it says if you possess some Sabito. It doesn't say vial of blue pills. That's strange.
Must have changed the name in new editions.
Although you cannot gauge how deep you are, you know that your strength is fading fast. If you are to avoid a watery death, you must shed some of your equipment. Oh my god. If you wish to discard half the number of items in your backpack, turn to 91. If you wish to discard your backpack completely, turn to page 346.
Now, the good news is we don't have that, like, we don't have any good items in our backpack, so we could actually discard everything and I'd be okay with it. But for now, let's see if we can get away with half.
Okay.
There is no time to choose which equipment to keep and which to throw away. Count the number of backpack items you possess, and if there is an odd number, erase the last one on your list. Divide this list into two, and mark one with H and the other with T. Then take a coin and flick it in the air. If the coin shows heads, erase all the items on the H list. If it shows tails, erase all the items on the T list. Alright. We're left with a rope, potion, flask of boza, and jade and anklets. We actually got the two I wanted to keep. I wanted to keep the rope and I wanted to keep the potion. So, we're good.
I'm glad we kept our foot bracelet.
Oh, it doesn't count as lost items, just erased. Okay.
I guess we'll never get them back.
Once you made the necessary adjustments to your action chart, pick a number. If you pick the Magnetic Discipline of Nexus, add... Oh god, we're doing it again.
Oh... Oh, made it.
Just about.
With half your equipment discarded, you are able to claw your way up through the black water. Finally, you reach the surface, coughing and gasping for air. At first, the incredible coldness stunned your senses, but now it revives them, spurring you to swim towards the distant shore that gleams faintly in the dim half-light. Aching and numb to the bone, you heave yourself out of the lake and collapse on the flat, spudgy rocks that line the shore. If you have the Magnetic Discipline Divination, go there, but you don't, so we need to go to turn 41.
Right. Well, so because we didn't pick Nexus or Divination, it's costing us. This book is actually using them. As your eyes become accustomed to the strange blue-green half-light, you notice something unusual lying on the shore 100 yards away. You approach cautiously and discover that it is the rope that once supported the cradle. The cradle itself now lies at the bottom of the lake, but a section of the rope fell to the shore. You examine it and discover that the end has been cut through with a sharp blade. The shock of this discovery sets your heart racing, and you rack your brain trying to think of who could commit this act of deliberate sabotage. You know of only one who could have done such a ruthless deed.
Oh. Gradually, as the feeling returns to your frozen limbs and your heart ceases to hammer in your chest, you feel bitterness and resentment welling up inside. You lift your face and give vent to an angry shout, cursing Senator Chill for his act of callous treachery that so nearly sealed your doom. Your voice travels through the dark towards the tiny speck that is the shaft of the cauldron, 500 feet above, but none hear you cry. The Senate is convinced that you have perished in the fall and have ordered the plug to be lowered back into position. Helplessly, you stare into the void and watch, with fear and frustration as the tiny speck flickers and then disappears. So now they think we're dead?
What, did they not see Senator Chill cut through the rope? Damn it. Just looked at him and was like, yeah, he cut through the rope. Whatever, just plug it up. Let's go home. Call it a day.
I'm tired. I want to go home.
Your spirits sink as you contemplate your fate, but the only way you know of escaping from this gigantic underground grotto has now been sealed off. However, you are not completely without hope. Your senses detect a powerful presence. It is a feeling you have known before when you have been close to discovering a Lorestone, but never has the sensation been as strong as it is here in this dark subterranean world. As your eyes become accustomed to the half-light, you look across the lake to see tiers of grey stone rising out of the water. They are the steps of a gigantic staircase which ascends to an arch of rock veined with glittering minerals. You skirt the edge of the lake and arrive at the foot of these steps to discover a cave-like hollow chiseled from the stone. You're exhausted and must now eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Rather than attempt to go on, you climb into the empty hollow and settle down to sleep. So the footnote here. Although this book gives no explicit restriction, it may be appropriate to consider this subterranean area a wasteland in regard to fulfilling the meal requirements with hunting and hunt mastery.
Yeah, I would consider that. I would consider that a wasteland, a sewer system. There's not much to eat except like rats.
And we just ate one.
Oh, yep, we did, didn't we?
Our master Splinter, we had to do it.
Oh, no, not Splinter! You are awoken by the stench of decay. A gray-skinned being squatting on its haunches stares down at you with grim and human eyes. Golem? Drool trickles from its ragged lips, and the rusty sword it holds in its twisted man-like hand is lifted to kill.
Doesn't have any muscles to move those. I never understood how skeletons can fight in the old films.
I've always wondered that too. Like, why? Okay, if skeletons, you know, they'd have no muscles, so they can't pick up a sword and fight. But if it's all magic, then why lift up the bones in the first place? Why not just have this, you know...
Why not animate the sword?
Thing. Yeah, why not just animate the sword? You're right.
It never made any sense. Screw you, Jason and the Argonauts.
While it's a cool idea, it doesn't make sense.
So, owing to the surprise of the attack, we can't use bow. And we also need Hunt Mastery. So, because we've got Hunt Mastery, we don't need to deduct the combat skill from the ambush. Yeah, we're gonna wipe this floor. We're gonna wipe the floor with this Zarek Scroll, no problem. And because it's undead, we're gonna double its damage on the Summer Sword, so we're definitely doing a one shot.
Oh my god. It's so awesome being the heavy damage assassin-y guy. Oh!
There we go.
Yep, you're right.
Win the combat. Your killing blow knocks the ghoul out of the hollow, sending it tumbling into the lake. More of the corpse-like creatures can be seen creeping along the shore. By the sound of their snuffling whispers and curses, make your blood run cold. They move with unnatural speed, eager to feast on your flesh. If you have a bow and wish to use it, 22. If you wish to evade the ghouls by leaving the hollow and climbing the steps, 104. If you wish to draw a hand weapon and prepare to fight them, turn to 254. Bow, 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 bow.
Yeah, every time we have had a bow option, you've been like, we're doing it. So...
Calling for a reason, we might as well.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, you are completely right. We might as well use it. We got a bunch of arrows. You draw an arrow and let fire at the leading creature. The shaft finds its grisly heart, and the creature drops to the ground, its spindly arms thrashing fitfully. The others halt in their tracks and look down at their slain companion. You see a flicker of fear pass across their black, lifeless eyes. If you wish to seize this opportunity and to evade them by climbing the stairs, go to 104. If you choose to draw a hand weapon in case they storm the hollow, turn to 71.
This one I will leave to you.
Let's just draw our hand weapon and see if they, in case they storm. I mean, we can fight them off.
Slowly, the ghouls slink away until their forms merge with the shadows at the far side of the lake. One of their number has been crouching above the entrance to the hollow, waiting to drop on you at the first opportunity. But, seeing its kin disperse, it decides not to remain any longer. As it jumps down from the step above, an odd-looking token falls from the pocket of its tattered jacket. It tries to retrieve it, but you step forward and strike a blow that lays open its stringy grey hand, and the accursed creature scurries away, hissing ghoulish obscenities. Fuck you, you fucking monster.
Backhands! Backhands!
If you wish to examine this token, turn to 43. If you prefer to leave it and hurry away from the hollow, in case the ghouls decide to return, turn to 175. Token.
Oh, yeah, totally. No, we're totally checking this out. It is a hexagonal in shape and made of thin cream-colored metal, which is engraved with the number 6. Make note of this number in the margin of your action chart. It could prove to be useful later in your adventure. The metal begins to get hot, and soon you can bend it with your fingers. Suddenly, it bursts into flames, forcing you to fling it aside before it burns your hand. The flaming token hits the lake and explodes in a cloud of white, powdery smoke. The echo of the explosion reverberates across the water, and you turn to leave straight away in case it attracts more ghoulish inhabitants. So we just got the number 6.
Yeah, probably have to turn
We
to that
lost
page
the
when we get to a
token.
door.
Oh, yeah. What is my number?
6. Yeah, let's go. The climb to the arch at the top of the stairs is a slow and laborious one. Each step is as tall as a young tree, and the smooth black stone offers few handholds. Several hours slip by before you reach the summit. There you stare down through the great archway at a stupendous sight. Look at that picture. Some nice looking. This looks like Charizard. Those are Charizard statues.
This looks like something out of Beautiful Joe, and I totally dig it.
The streets and buildings of an ancient civilization lie before you, disappearing into the gloom of a titanic chasm of immeasurable size. Ziggurats and towers, their carved walls cracking and crumbling, lean at impossible angles, having sunk into the soil over the centuries. This is Zarix, the legendary metropolis that was once home to a race fathered by Nyxator, the greatest of all dragons. It is the only city to have survived the age of chaos that followed the demise of their race. A wide avenue leads from the archway to enter the city, at a place flanked by 2 massive statues of dragons sitting on their haunches, with their stone-fanged mouths agape. You stop to rest here, and must now eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points.
Did we just eat?
Yep.
We
We're
just
going boy
ate
cake.
like a... Well, I guess a rat isn't much of a meal, so... yeah.
You're about to set off into the city when you catch a glimpse of a shadowy figure moving furtively among the ruins of an edifice to your left. If you've completed the Lore Circle of the Spirit, turn to 281. If you've yet to complete this Lore Circle, you can investigate the shadow, or you can ignore it and continue along the avenue. A footnote here: although the book gives no explicit restriction, it may be appropriate to consider Zarix a wasteland with regards to fulfilling meal requirements. Oh, same as before. Okay, so investigate the shadow or ignore it.
We have like cat-like curiosity, and we are a social butterfly. We go anywhere there's a sparkle of anything interesting.
Cat-like
Right now,
curiosity,
it's
sounds like Jubilee
yeah.
talking to me.
Oh, hey Jubilee. Oh, you're a cutie. Alright. Turn to 122. Fearfully, you approach the shadow until you can discern its gruesome features. It is a ghoul, similar to those you encountered in the Hollow, but this creature looks even less human. Its swollen skull is set lopsided on its withered frame, and its long black tongue that hangs from its jagged mouth drips with a sticky black venom that bubbles like boiling acid as it hits the ground. It raises a wet hand and a cone of mist whirls towards your chest. If you possess the Magnified Discipline of Side Screen, go there. If you do not possess the skill, go there. Finally, something we actually have, like,
Yes, it's coming
the
in clutch.
discipline of.
The mist coils around you like a python impraising its prey. Your body is engulfed by heat so intense that it seems as though you're surrounded by rings of white-hot metal, but your mind is filled with a stabbing, icy pain. You lose 3 endurance points before your side screen repels this psychic assault. It's either a Vordak, a Helghast, or it could even be a Dark Lord.
Oh.
Interesting.
You are in combat with the powerful denizen of Zarix. There is no time to evade its attacking. You must fight it to the death. The Cygul.
And because it's undead, we get double endurance point damage.
Oh, so this is just gonna be another one shot, isn't it?
One shot, one shot, one shot.
One shot, one shot, one shot, one shot.
All these bonuses, this guy don't stand a chance. Yep.
He's gotta be dead. Yeah, he's
Doubly dead.
He's doubly dead.
Stabbed in the face for good luck. At last, the grisly creature surrenders to death and collapses at your feet. What do you mean at last? At first? You sheathe your weapon and kneel over its torn body, drawing by the sight of a ring on the finger of its right hand. It gleams incredibly, as though only minutes old. and the deep yellow stone that is set in the silvery metal glows with an eldritch light. If you wish to keep this psychic ring, mark it on your action chart as a special item that you keep in your pocket. Hell yeah. I'll have that psychic ring. We still have the Great Crystal ring.
We're gonna...
We're decked out with 2
keep
rings.
the psychic ring. What's the book thinking? For countless hours, you follow the Great Avenue as it bisects the heart of Zarix. The once grand buildings that line this ancient thoroughfare. Okay. Thoroughfare. Are in varying states of decay. Some are almost intact, while others have disintegrated into little more than piles of black rubble. You try to keep track of time, but it proves difficult in the perpetual half-light of this buried world. Twice you stop to sleep and eat before you enter the city. And before you near the center of the city. Oh wow. I guess
really
we hunt 2 more rats.
Yep.
Yada 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 yada. There you discover Great Hall. It is
I don't know what that word is.
Smooth and undamaged by time. Look at all these detailed lizards. That's a lot of little black dots. As you pass through one of the massive arches, you notice a group of reptilian creatures huddled up at the top of a staircase that descends into the darkness. They are stroking a large leathery egg and speaking to each other in low hissing language.
I'm gonna check out the lizards. Sorry,
oh.
Carry on. Look like King K. Rool.
They make me think of Renekton from League of Legends. If you wish to approach these creatures under cover of the pillars of the line, that page. If you wish to call out to them, go to that page. If you have a bow and wish to use it...
Under normal circumstances, I would use the bow, but I don't know if these creatures are bad or good or bad. The chances are they're probably bad, because everything down here is bad. But I'm just gonna sneak up on them.
You gonna sneak up on them under the cover of the pillars that line the hall?
That's a smart thing to do. I would
it's the most neutral ground.
Yeah. I'm gonna call out to him. Hey, can I have some of that egg?
Oh, if it was me, I would have called out to them. I'd be like, "Hey, what's up? You guys good?"
The black flagstones are covered with a fine layer of grit that scrunches with every step you take. If you have the Magnified Discipline of Invisibility and have reached the Kai rank of Prince Palin, there's a 1/4. If you don't have the skill, then you're screwed.
Using your improved mastery, you move forward silently, pillar by pillar, until you're within few feet of the creatures. Their heads resemble those of baby crocodiles, but their bodies and forelimbs are toad-like and covered with hard, shiny scales. They chatter incessantly, and judging by their behavior and speech patterns, they are sentient beings. If you possess the Magnified Discipline and Divination, go there. If you don't possess the skill, turn to the page we're turning to.
God damn it. The creatures possess some psychic skills that afford them a limited sixth sense. Their leader, a female who is taller and much lighter in color than the others, suddenly detects your presence. The sight of you frightens the creatures, and they slink quickly down the stairs, cradling their egg protectively in their webbed hands. You run forward in time to see them disappear into the dark stairwell. If you have a cult fire sphere, a lantern, or a torch and tinderbox, turn to 33. If you have a fire seed and wish to throw it down the stairs, 106. If you choose to unsheath the hand weapon and descend the stairs into the darkness, turn to 224. Alright, cult fire sphere, coming in clutch.
Hell yes, that thing is so cool to me. As your light flares into life, you notice an object lying on the steps. It was dropped by one of the reptilians, and it made it hastily escape. It is a hexagonal-shaped piece of metal embossed with a numerical design. If your source of the light is a torch, remember to erase it from your action chart. Oh. If you have seen and examined one of these hexagonal tokens previously in your adventure, go there. We have the one with the number 6.
That's right. With the experience of what happened when you last touched one of these strange tokens still fresh in your mind, you avoid picking up this one. However, this does not stop you from looking at its intricate design. This token is engraved with a mathematical equation, and you calculate the answer to be 320. Make a note of this number in the margin of your action chart, beneath the number you've already listed, as it may well prove useful at a later stage of your adventure. Nice, they didn't have to give us a puzzle to solve, just told us the answer, it's 320. Next one's going to be 420.
You are now smart enough to figure it out yourself, Lone Wolf.
This one's 320, the next one's going to be 420. 420, blaze it. Blaze it, blaze it. Yeah. A caught fire sphere turns 420. Blaze it.
Cautiously you descend the staircase, expecting the unexpected. Your weapon held ready in case the reptilians attempt a surprise attack. The glow of your light washes over the black stone stairs below, and you freeze in your tracks when you notice a poorly concealed trap. Carefully, you step over the snare and continue towards a door at the bottom of the stairs. It is unlocked and slightly ajar. If you have a mirror, go there. If you wish to pull open the door and continue, go there. If you wish to push open the door, and flatten yourself to the floor in case the reptilians have prepared an ambush for you. So wait,
random thing. I'm gonna say
yeah.
I'm gonna do the flattening thing, but I think they might have put a trap on the bottom or something, like spikes come out the floor or something. I don't know.
I think the reptilians are just gonna pull out spears and just stab us while we're on the ground.
Ooh, your caution is well placed. As soon as the door creaks open, a bolt of fiery energy screams over your head and explodes with a tremendous ear-splitting crack against the stairs behind. It was launched from a tube of glowing crystal, supported on the shoulders of 2 reptilians kneeling in the corridor ahead. Their long jaws fall open in shocked surprise when they see you rise to your feet and run towards them, your weapon drawn ready to strike. Crocodiles. And look at them holding that thing.
They just like artillery fired at us.
Pretty much. They've got some kind of a magic fire weapon. These creatures are immune to Mind Blast, but not Psy Surge. Owing to the speed of your attack, ignore any endurance point losses that you sustain in the first 2 rounds of combat. Are we going to need 2 rounds?
Oh, yeah.
12 combat skill. 12. They get knocked out.
Oh my god. It is so beautiful just to see all these bonuses over and over. It feels like we've come such a long way. It's great.
Alright, you got a lot of health. Probably going to take a couple more attacks. Go. Oh.
Uh-oh, we're gonna
Definite
actually
knockout.
take damage, baby.
Oh shit, it's the worst one. We're not going to take damage. Well, we're going to heal in like 2 pages.
Yeah.
He's already mostly healed.
Is this me?
Yep.
You follow the corridor to a curved light of alabaster stairs and descend them to a massive chamber. The floor is constructed of steely blue metal flecked with silver, and 100 darkened archways line the walls. Directly ahead stand 2 gigantic doors of sheeted platinum, engraved with patterns breathtaking in their intricacy. The chamber is deserted, but as you cross the floor and approach the doors, you are acutely aware that any of one of the arches could be hiding a legion of reptilians. In the center of the door, there is a lock that consists of 4 hexagonal buttons, arranged in the shape of a pyramid, with 1 button at the top and 3 buttons in the line below it. Every time you touch a button, a glowing number appears on its surface. Your basic high sense informs you that this is a combination lock. If you press each button several times until the correct numbers show all 4 buttons, the lock will release and the doors will open. If you know the correct number to press for the top button and the correct three-figure number on the bottom 3 buttons. Add both numbers together and turn to the entry that has been the same number as the total. So, oh my god, Jubilee.
What did she do?
She knocked over a jar.
Ah, was it full of water? Full of something.
Actually, it was full of a little bit of alcohol with peaches in it. Alright, so we got, what was it, 320 and 6, right? So 326?
26 blaze it. Oh, it didn't even tell me to type anything in, just go straight to it.
Oh, I gotta actually go to it. There we go.
There's a soft whir as the mechanism of the lock disengages, but the door does not open. You will need this key. The words sound in your head. You spin around to see the female reptilian, the leader of her kind. She moves towards you from an archway to your right, holding a rod of colonium in her webbed hand. The glint of several eyes in the darkness of the other archers warn that she is not alone. Telepathically, calls to you. You are unlike the other man-things that have dared to enter Zarix. What is it that you seek? If you wish to tell her why you're here, turn to 256. If you choose to prepare to defend yourself in case you're attacked, turn to 283. So, I think, I mean, they could have easily attacked us, so I think it's only fair that we have a discussion. Every day you get to talk to King K. Rool's wife.
Yeah, let's have a little diplomacy, and see where this goes. Usually, I mean, it's a crapshoot, but sometimes it works.
We're talking.
I seek the Lorestone of Tahao. You reply boldly.
Yeah,
I am the Kai Lord Lone Wolf, and I quest for wisdom of the Nyxator. And I may vanquish the spawn of his enemies and save my people from destruction. Her harsh gaze softens as your proud words fill the chamber with resonant echoes. You sense a sadness within her, but she replies with words of joy that form in your mind. Your quest will be fulfilled, and it was by your sire that many centuries ago we have waited long for your coming, scarred, and we will fulfill our duty to him who gave us life. She opens the great platinum doors and beckons you to follow her.
Can we sell those doors? Made of platinum. Not even platinum doors.
Let's just mine off a chunk of it and just bring a chunk of platinum home with us.
We'll lug a bit of door with. Oh no, shit! We try to hack off the door. It's gonna kill us.
Oh my god, yeah, we would have to battle the door then.
You follow her along passages and sloping tunnels, down long flights of stairs and through magnificent chambers that no human eye has ever seen before. Except for, Sun Eagle, who came here before. The alien splendor of its ancient city leaves you in awe of the race that once dwelt in these halls. For interminable hours, you follow in her wake until you arrive at a circular chamber of rust-red stone. The floor descends in a series of wide steps that encircle the room, and in the middle of the tiers is a shallow pit with a stone die at its center. At your approach, the die glows with a crimson light that pulses like a living heart. Shimmering waves of silvery radiance sweep the steps, and a chorus of voices, soft and sirenic, echo through the upper reaches of the chamber. You surrender yourself to instinct and step upon the die, cupping your hands before you, raising your face to the roof. A golden light pours out of the darkness, soaking you in its brilliance and filling your senses with a glowing warmth. Let me just stop here. We're getting soaked in golden light and golden brilliance. That is a fucking golden shower. I'm telling you, man. Mate, you need to look up and see if those crocodiles aren't pissing all over you.
This is a holy moment, okay?
Don't open your eyes, Lone Wolf. Just let it flow all over you. Open your mouth, even.
Just accept it.
A gasp of war arises from the tiers, now crowded with reptilians. They are the crocodiles, the guardians of this city, the stewards of the Lorestone who were placed here by the great god Kai. With joy and sorrow, they have gathered to witness the fulfillment of their purpose. Your coming marks the end of their stewardship and the beginning of their demise. High above you, a shadow is taking form at the core of the golden light. It is dark and leathery, shaped like an egg. Slowly, it breaks and peels open to reveal a sparkling crystal sphere. It is the Lorestone of Tahau, the object of your quest. Okay, hang on. We've got golden showers and dark and leathery things. This is a fucking BDSM camp, I'm telling you.
Hey, you know what? We've aged as Lone Wolf, you know. Now the usual stuff just doesn't do it for us anymore. You know,
I wouldn't be surprised if they shoved this Lorestone up our ass. Wait, things are going.
You gain incredible strength.
The Lorestone of suppositories. Oh shit.
A warm tingling runs through your body as the Lorestone descends into your hands.
Yeah,
as you touch the crystal.
A warm tingling sensation.
Smear some Vaseline over Your senses become charged with a new vitality that obliterates the fatigue of your ordeal and fills you with a newfound wisdom and strength. Restore your endurance to its original score, which it probably already was. Then, a swirl of color engulfs your body, and you feel yourself fall forward into the throat of a spinning vortex. The chamber dissolves, and you begin to rise at an ever-increasing speed. As if you were falling upwards. A surge of light makes you close your eyes, but it passes in an instant, and you find yourself staring down at an incredible and terrible sight. Turn to page 2.
You look upon the city of Tahau from the balcony of a tall tower, the spire of the Thalis Temple, situated at the heart of the Rainbow Park. It is noon, but there is no brightness in this day, for a grey blanket of smoke covers the sky. Below you lies a shattered city, its once proud buildings now seething infernos, its streets and squares choked with rubble. Hasty defences have been constructed where the city wall is holed or fallen, and the battlements to the north and east are covered with unburied dead. That's a huge ass city.
That is.
Beyond the wall, the flats lie shrouded in a mist that curls like the smoke of 1,000 campfires. Its thickness is unnatural, and you sense at once that it has been conjured to hide the enemy. You leave the tower and make your own way through the burning streets towards the West District, where the fighting at the wall is fiercest. You pass the smouldering ruins of the Onarium and take a fire-swept street that leads to the West Gate. The building at the end of this street is being used as a shelter for the wounded. The roof has caught fire, and a handful of soldiers are trying desperately to evacuate the wounded before it collapses. The roof is on fire. Right. If you wish to help the soldiers,
you had to do it.
342. If you wish to continue toward the West Gate, 179. We can help the soldiers. We've got some newfound power.
Yeah, why not? We got a new Lorestone. Maybe we can orbital strike something else. The first floor is soon set ablaze as the wind whips the roof fire into a raging inferno. A soldier, his face and uniform completely blackened by soot, staggers down the stairs and collapses into your arms. The captain's up there, he croaks. His throat burned from inhaling the scorching air. He went to save his brother just before the roof caught. If you have the Mad Guy discipline of Nexus and have reached the Kai rank of Principalian, go there. But that's not what we have, so we don't have this skill. So we must go to our consolation prize, page 59.
You start up the stairs, but the first floor is already engulfed in flames. A gust of wind whips the fire down the stairwell, scorching your face and tunic. Use 2 endurance points, forcing you to retreat into the street. Unable to help those who have been caught in the inferno, you leave the house sadly and hurry towards the west gate. We'll heal it in the next page.
Oh
shit, we haven't
we
healed it.
couldn't help anybody.
We did not heal that. Means we're in a combat section.
Oh. You reach the west gate and climb the body-strewn stairs to the battlements. On this side of the city, the mist is less dense, and you can see the regiments of Zhakan warriors advancing in lines towards the Great Moat. Behind them are trundled huge machines of war, designed to fire canisters of boiling oil and red-hot liquid metal over the city wall. Cavalry wait in reserve, while siege towers and catapults are hauled forward by lumbering Goraks and muscular leathery Zol. At the foot of the wall, a unit of Salanese engineers are repairing the damage done to a bridge they constructed during the night.
Jubilee! Stop it! Hey! Stop it! Get off that! Go!
Okay.
Hey, you okay?
Yeah, I just didn't want her messing with that. Alright. Constructed during night. They have only one more plank to lay to make the bridge safe and enable the squad of Zhakan assault troopers to reach the west gate. You see a soldier creep to the edge of the bridge and raise a large screen to protect the engineer who is laying this final plank. If you have the bow and wish to use it, go there. Which is what we always do.
Said it. The Dracarim assault troopers crouch behind their oblong shields, waiting for their chance to storm the gate. You draw your arrow and take aim at the engineer's screen. You will have only a second in which to fire as he steps forward to slip the final plank in place. Pick a number from the random number table. If you have magnified discipline and weapon mastery with a bow, add 3 to the number you've picked. And we have the silver bow of Duidin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We didn't even need it.
Your shaft pierces the engineer's throat, sending him toppling into the moat. In panic, the soldier drops his screen and runs back across the bridge towards the Zhakan. They view this as an act of cowardice and kill him out of hand as a warning to the Salanese. Your bow skill has bought the defenders at the west gate precious time to patch their battered defenses. You are about to help them with the new threat that looms to the north.
Further along the battlements, a group of determined Giak soldiers have climbed the wall, using a scaling ladder. Leading their attack is the large scaly Gorgaz, who wields a two-handed axe with devastating effect. It cuts a gruesome path through the Anarian defenders and launches itself at you. This creature is immune to mind blasts. Not size edge. Yeah, but he's not immune to my
It's a
summer sword.
big
I'm
and-
about to cut a bitch. About to slice a bitch up.
He's
My
kind of
bitch
meaty
up.
though.
Oh shit.
I mean, compared to everything we've fought, he's kind of meaty.
Yeah, he's taking a chunk out of us. My bitch up.
Oh wow, I
Ah,
haven't
he's
heard that song in so long.
My bitch up. I don't even know if I should play that music at that point. Probably get copyrighted.
Yeah, it definitely will. With their leader slain, the Giaks suddenly lose their nerve and fall back to their ladder. You leap forward and help them on their way with a flurry of blows that leaves 6 dead at your feet. Several leap from the battlements into the moat rather than stand and face your deadly counterattack. Within minutes, the wall is cleared of the enemy and a squad of Slovian mercenaries arrive to plug the gap. If you have the Magkai Discipline and Hunt Mastery and a Rishikai rank Prince Battalion, go there, which we have!
Hell
Yay!
Using your improved Magnakai mastery, you focus on a distant tower, one of several that reinforce the city wall. This one marks the boundary between the city's north and west districts, and as your vision magnifies, Your suspicions are confirmed. Standing at the top of the tower is your companion Banadin. You're relieved to know that he is alive, and resolve to make your way to the tower without delay.
Hey, it's Banadin.
He's here to kick ass and take names.
Hell
All out of
yeah.
notepads. Or whatever.
We met him in like the first book, didn't we?
Yes.
Oh my god.
He's the very first person we ever met. If you don't count enemies.
The iron door to the tower is unlocked and you enter unopposed. At the top of the steep stone steps, you find a ladder to a trapdoor. Quickly, you climb the ladder and emerge into the roofs. By the gods! Exclaims Banadin when you appear.
My prayers have been answered. You are alive, Lone Wolf. You are alive.
Tears of joy fill his eyes as he welcomes your return warmly. Aww. Bro love moment. Aww. He and his mentor Chiban have been viewing the siege from this vantage point for the last 3 days. From this position, they control the movement of the few reserves allocated to the north and west city walls, using them to fill the gaps where the enemy's attacks have weakened the defenses. Bandit recounts how the siege has progressed, how twice the enemy has broken into the city and been repelled by the determined defenders. Attacks from the air have set the city ablaze, but the enemy has lost great numbers in their flying cran, and now they are too weak to dare use the few that remain. The Narium was destroyed in the first few hours of the siege, and many senators lost their lives, including Senator Chill and President Tultuda. Then he asks of your quest and is overjoyed to hear its success. The gods smile upon you, Lone Wolf. So as long as you live, there is hope for us all.
Yeah, bitch. You know it. I'm great.
I'm great. I'm the hero. Oh yeah.
Relentlessly, the enemy pour their fire upon the north and west city walls until the black sky above Tahau takes on a vivid scarlet glow. The defenders look to their weapons uneasily and pray that the gods are with them, at least until dawn. And when the first rays of dawn light show above the eastern hills, no mists enshroud the armies of Dark Lord Nog. They are massed in all their glory, waiting the order to attack. You cast your eye across the Sea of Doom and mark the many regiments of evil that are ranged against the walls of Tahau. The armoured legions of Macedonia are the first to advance, moving in ordered columns towards the west gate. At their head walks a figure sheathed in gold, around whom a cold blue fire glows intensely. He strides within range of the city archers, and they send a cloud of arrows to greet him, but these shatter and crackle when they encounter his impregnable, glowing shield. He crosses the siege bridge and halts before the west gate. In his hand is an orb of black metal. He holds it before him and mouths an incantation. Instantly, a bolt of scarlet flame lances from the orb, destroying the great doors with thunderous boom. Proudly, he strides into the city and the defenders melt before him. One summons enough courage to attack him with a spear. There is a crackling flash, and in an instant, the soldier is transformed into a pile of glowing ash.
So this guy just came up and just animated this whole fucking book.
The dude is not even looking at him, and the dude's getting shocked to death. Yo,
this is like straight out of an anime. This is great.
That's a resting bitch face. Look at that.
He doesn't care. He gives no fucks. He was not worried in the least. He's that badass.
He advances unchecked and undaunted by all attacks, for they cannot penetrate his magical shield. Only when he comes face to face with you does he stop. I have come for you, Lone Wolf, he says, a cruel smile on his lips. You gaze into the ice-cold eyes of Zhakan Kima, ruler of Macedonia. As he raises his orb of black metal, you steel yourself for the battle that is about to commence. If you have the summer sword, turn to 48. You don't, you're screwed.
Orbital strike.
Hey, he can call orbital strikes as well, you know.
Oh. A
As you-
bolt of scarlet fire surges from the orb and speeds towards your head. You counter the attack, but the bolt changes course in mid-flight, catching you off balance. A searing pain tears into your arm as it glances from your shoulder and explodes somewhere into the street behind. Lose 5 endurance points. Turn to page 128.
I could use the potion right now, but we're gonna heal up, so we're cool. Oh shit, I didn't realize. Maybe we should have got it. Oh shit, here, can I use it right now? Yeah, I can. Okay, good.
Awesome.
The Zhakan gloats over your pain and moves forward to exploit his advantage. You grit your teeth and raise your sword to defend yourself against his attack. You are aware of the Zhakan's troops fighting a desperate battle at the west gate. You know that you must defeat him, or the city will be lost. He's immune to Mind Blast and Psi Search. Now I've got 2 buttons here. I've got old and I've got new. Click this button to use the old or original combat scores for the Zhakan. Combat 44 and endurance points 50. The new one, the read on combat scores, he's got only 39 combat skill and 46 endurance points. So the newer version is an easier fight. I'm gonna save here, but I think we can take him on his old.
Yeah, this is a boss battle, and yeah, I think we
gonna be
can
the
take
most
his
epic
old
boss music.
stats. Oh yeah, this is
Yeah,
gonna
this is gonna be a fight. This is gonna be a fight. Finally, someone can
roll
actually
them
stand up to us.
dice.
Yo, he tied us.
Oh,
Oh, this is a fight. Come on, kick his ass. Yeah, 10 damage, bitch. Take that. Oh shit.
ooh, this isn't gonna be good. Oh,
Come on, dickhead. What you got? On guard, dickhead.
oh.
All right. We got the
Okay,
advantage.
okay.
Shit, no, he's got lots of endurance points. I just realized. Uh-oh. Not looking good for
Oh,
us.
we keep on having shitty rolls.
Well, we gotta get
Come
lucky.
on, come on,
I'm
Lone
up all
Wolf,
night
you
for
can
some
do it.
fun. I'm up all night to get fun. Is up to get some. I'm up all night to get lucky. Oh yeah, okay, we're in the lead. I'm up all night to get lucky. Oh yeah, getting lucky. Yeah, can you feel it, bitch? Can you feel it? You're dead no
Oh,
matter
we
what.
started getting lucky when you started singing the song, so
Didn't matter.
proof
Didn't need
it
to sing that
works.
one. Yeah, bitch. If you win the combat,
Yeah.
10-50.
Is this you or me?
You can read it.
Okay. At the very moment of his death, the shimmering web of energy that encases the Zhakan's body flares with a scarlet brilliance so intense that you are forced to avert your eyes for fear of it blinding you. The light surges and fades, leaving behind a mound of glowing fragments that crumble and dissolve noiselessly until all that remains of the Zhakan and the Orb of Death is a dark stain on the earth where they fell.
Correction, the dark stain is him shitting his pants when he died. He expelled his bowels.
Bring me my brown pants.
It's like in South Park when someone dies, you just shit their pants. That's the dark stain.
Truly, that is the most evil that we face. Not the creature itself, the shit stain left behind. Spurred on by your triumph, the Narian defenders rallied themselves and counterattacked to secure the west gate. The Macedonians who gained entry are either killed or forced back into the moat as the gate is quickly retaken. A cheer resounds from the city wall. A cheer that becomes a chant carrying word of Kima's demise. I guess that's the guy we killed.
Yeah.
And the enemy beyond the moat. Oh, to the enemy beyond the moat. And gradually, the advancing legions slow to a halt as their hope of an easy victory dies. Officers ride to and fro, cursing and threatening their men with all manner of punishment. But their morale is severely shaken. The ranks of armored warriors merely stand in shocked silence and refuse to advance. The sound of distant trumpets is heard, and all eyes turn to the south to see wave upon wave of mounted warriors emerging from the hills around Varta. They pour from every valley and pass to fill the southern flats with the regiment of horsemen, resplendent in uniforms of blue, gray, and white. I forgot what Chiban sounded like, but our prayers have been answered, says Chiban as he and Banda rejoin you at the city wall. Behold, the allies of Anari have come to aid us in our darkest hour. He points to the advancing cavalry, and you recognize, fluttering from their lances, the battle standards of 3 countries, Froyland, Lorestone, and Kakush. Then the thunder of their horses' hooves fill the air, and a wave of joy surges through you as you witness their first charge devastate the enemy's ranks, throwing them into chaos and confusion. A great battle ensues as the enemy slowly gather themselves to resist this unexpected assault. By noon, 2 of their armies have been smashed and routed, and the third fights a desperate rearguard action as it covers the chaotic retreat westward. At last, the fighting around the city comes to an end, and the defenders give voice to their elation, and their home has been saved from hordes of darkling nag. Senator Zalaris proclaims you the saver of Tahau, and the victorious cheers of the citizens echo through the burning streets and across. Oh, it's still on fire, but they're cheering. Okay.
We never got to put out the fire.
And across the flats lie strewn with the enemy dead. If any of your weapons or weapon-like special items were confiscated by the South Gate Guard, they are now gratefully returned to you. You gaze at this grim panorama, and your blood runs cold. But it is not the sight of the carnage that grips you with fear. It is your growing awareness of a powerful evil that is taking shape above the West Gate. A billowing black cloud forms in the sky, and from out of this cloud there comes a harsh and terrible voice. I will be avenged. It booms, its renaissance shaking the battlements on which you stand. You steel yourself, half expecting a bolt of lightning to leap from the cloud and hurtle towards you. But no such attack materializes. Instead, the chilling voice continues in a mocking tone. Know this. You will pay for your defiance with your life. I, Nag of Mosgar, have the 3 remaining Lorestones that you seek, and I shall destroy them when I destroy you, Kai Lord. A gust of wind catches the cloud as it clears swiftly, but it leaves behind a numbing dread that fills your heart, for you sense that the worlds were no idle threat. A terrible voice of Dark Lord Nag spoke the truth. Your quest has succeeded, for the wisdom and strength of the Lorestone Tahau is now part of your body and spirit and anus. And your defeat of Zhakan Kimash has turned the tide of war decisively against the Darkland armies. But the shocking news that the Dark Lords now possess the remaining Lorestones of Nyxator heralds the start of a new and deadly perilous episode of the Magna Chi quest. If you have the courage of a true Magna Chi master, the challenge of recovering the last Lorestones from the clutches of your mortal enemies await you. Beginning in Book 10 of the Lone Wolf series, entitled The Dungeons of Torgar.
Sorry, I was about to whistle.
Then
I don't have the energy to whistle. But basically, yeah. The next book is the last book of the Magna Chi series. So if we're gonna get the Lorestones, we're gonna get them next book, all 3 of them. This bastard. I don't know why he's just crush them in his hand right now.
like how we got like I feel like we just finished a movie, and you know how like at the end of if memory serves me right, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I was thinking
like
the exact same thing.
Good, because it's like what, this figure is just appearing, and now we gotta fight more. Yeah,
Like, he appears at the temple. I've come for your souls, you pathetic mortals. I don't think so.
Best song ever.
Lone Wolf. Benedict. Pedo.
Oh, poor Pedo.
But yeah, any other thoughts about it? I wasn't expecting it to take this long, the rest of the book. It thought it'd just be another half hour. It was actually quite an adventure. Kind of made up for the last book, which had no fights at all. Like, our biggest fight was against, what is it, the spider, when we gave it a meal.
But yeah, now, we actually had a cool-ass boss fight. This dude just comes out of nowhere, animates the whole motherfucker up, and just badassly, you know, walks towards us and starts attacking. And then we have, like, a good fight. And he was matched with our combat skill.
Like,
so we had, like,
tit for tat.
Yeah, we had, like, a matching fight. It was good. We had a cool fight.
And to think, like, they dumbed it down, the fight. They made it easier in the newer editions.
I'm glad we chose the harder one, at least for the first try.
I was gonna say I was gonna try second time if we did die, and if we lost the second time, I'd be like, no, we're going for the easier one.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was quite confident in our rolls. To be fair, like, he had all the advantage in that case since our combat skills were tied, and he had the more endurance points. I know the table is a bit more favorable to Lone Wolf, but not by much. So his more endurance points, like, remember, our endurance points are the lowest they could possibly be, because we rolled 0.
Yep.
At the very beginning. So we tanked those hits. It was good. It was a good fight.
Well, we are all offense, and that was great.
Alright then. If there's no further comments, then I will ask everyone watching to make sure they like the video. Comment down below. Tell us what you think of the books so far. And make sure you subscribe to both me and Karzie. And we will see you in the Dungeons of Torgar. See you later.
Oh, bye-bye, everybody.